Oh dear, what Christ, what a week it's been, man. Fucking hell. Right, this is a Maclad 1888 show on YouTube. I think we're on episode 38. I never ever get them right. I always have to edit it, but never mind. I'm just guessing. I'm just winging it. Driving into work. Just watched Neil Lennon's press conference with regards to Boli, and Boli. Been listening to the reaction on the radio there as well on the way into work. I'm absolutely dumbfounded, if that's the right word to use, why Boli had to go to Spain for one night. It doesn't make any sense, like the club and Lennon have said. So yeah, I put this radio off. So yeah, I didn't understand that. Yeah, and he's put the whole, he's blackened Celtic's name because we are going to get fucking absolutely ripped. I mean, Aberdeen obviously got ripped by Nicola Sturgeon, who stepped in for the government after their incident with the 8 players, and then it comes out that obviously Boli's had that trip, played in the game, and they hadn't told anybody, and he's put everybody, so many people at risk. Oh, there's been tests done and they've came back negative. It doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is, it has blackened the club's name, and you know what it's like in Scotland and the Scottish media. They fucking love a story, and they are going to fucking jump on this for weeks and weeks to come. And if it transpires that someone else happens, like in the coming weeks and months, say it's somebody else, it doesn't even really matter. The First Minister's already said that if it happens again, that's it. It's a suspension for the league, or it's a shutdown for the season. It's going to disrupt things, and Celtic and Aberdeen are heavily involved in it, obviously, and whoever that other person or club or whatever it is in the future that actually brings the season to a fucking close, they'll get dragged through the mire, you know, and Celtic's name is going to be one of the ones that's been the cause of the downfall of that. I'll reiterate that it's no Celtic, it's the player. It's at fault here, but the club are going to get fucking destroyed by the media because they just love to have a go, and anything they can get, any fuel they can get for the fire to have a go to Celtic is, even though it's the player that's been the problem, they'll use that. So I'm raging like it. Not only the fact that this has happened, but if you think about this season, what this season means to the club as a whole, going for 10 in a row, making history, all these things. The way it's working out now, St Mirren game's off, Aberdeen game's off, the Huns will have played 3 games more actually, because they play before us the following weekend, so they'll have played another 3 games down the road. And let's assume, right, I mean, I'm not saying they'll win all 3 games, but if they get maximum points, we're going to be looking at 11 points to a gap, although we'll have 3 games to play, right? But the amount of pressure that's going to put on these 3 games, as well as the fact that this whole scenario has arisen, it could actually fucking destroy our season. This one incident could destroy our entire season. But let's look at it positively, right? It's happened, right? We move on, and mistakes are made, as we've seen for the Aberdeen thing, and I never thought that would happen to our club, but it has. And I dare say that at some point down the road, it might happen again with somebody else, and that might be the striking out, unfortunately, for the Scottish season. So we're going to be, you add all that pressure up into the games, and the amount of pressure that's going to put on the players in these 3 games playing catch up to Sevco, it's just added so much unneeded attention on the club and unneeded focus on getting the points in these games. I mean, obviously we don't know how the games, the Rangers, the Sevco games are going to go. They might not get maximum points, they might have a few draws, they might get a defeat, you know, who knows how that's going to play out. But let's assume that they do get full points. Like I say, it's going to be an 11 point gap, and we're going to have to win the 3 games, and having all this added pressure doesn't help. So I'm annoyed about that, but obviously the more important point here is the fact that Boli's done this, and he's put the whole of the club at risk from catching the virus. He's put all the Kilmarnock players and staff at risk, and their families, and the Celtic players, and it's just such a large amount of people, and all the tests have came back negative. It's still wrong. We've had a bad enough start to the season with, well, okay, we had a good start with the game against Hamilton, the first game, but then the game at the weekend, the players just didn't show up, and Kilmarnock were worthy of their draw, and that was 2 points dropped that we didn't really need. And yeah, it's always a hard place to go, Kilmarnock, and the plastic pitch, etc. We can use all the excuses as much as we want, but other teams have to play on plastic pitches and AstroTurf, and you just got to get on with it. We weren't beat, we still got a good point in the end, but the performance, if we played well and drew, then you could say, right, fair enough, that just wasn't to be. But we created 2 chances on ball, and Kilmarnock were worthy. The big guy, Klamala, Klamala's fucking Celtic, what am I talking about? I can't remind the big Kilmarnock striker, he bullied Big Julian all day, like Lyndon Dykes did last season in the Livingston game, and he played really well, and obviously won the penalty, scored the penalty. Oh no, sorry, Buck scored the penalty. I need to get my facts right. And yeah, hats off to Kilmarnock, they deserved that point. So we're playing catch up already. We've now got this situation that's arisen, and we're now going to be 3 games behind Sevco when we actually get back playing. We will all have a game in Europe obviously coming up next week, if that goes ahead, if we're given the go ahead for that. I mean, even that's going to be a massive pressure game, even though it's no a big name in European football, or like what you would look at as being a huge challenge. It's going to be a huge challenge considering what's went on, and it might even affect our position in Europe if we can't get up for the game. We're obviously going to be lying a week, having to isolate and stuff like that, so I don't know if the players will even be allowed to train. I'm assuming they will within their bubble. It's thrown up so many variables. The whole situation's thrown up so many variables, and the thing is, right, it's early in the season, and this has happened twice. Once with Aberdeen, once with Celtic. Games have been called off, postponed, etc. Obviously we've got all the fucking chat and the media. They're fucking on the bandwagon right away, man. Because it's Celtic, they're fucking loving it, and they're straight on it. We've just gave them fuel for their fire, and they'll be talking up the Sevco for winning the league this year. But we'll bounce back for this. We'll bounce back for it, and we'll see how things develop in their games. Like I say, there's no guarantees that they'll get maximum points. But I'm fucking angry. Like, I think every Celtic fan will be angry at the situation. But let's remember, right, this will happen again. There is no way that this will go through a whole season without these instances happening. And as much as everybody wants to have a go at Aberdeen and the players, and want to have a go at Celtic and the players, I guarantee this will happen with other clubs during the season. And it's just the world we live in now with this virus, and it is going to disrupt the games going forward. And the next time it might actually mean a suspension of the league, and then if it was to happen again, it might even mean closing down the season. I mean, there is major ramifications for the situation. So, although we're all having a go at Celtic now, and we're angry with players, etc., let's just remember that this will happen again in the future. Later on in this season, it will definitely happen again, and it'll be it's maybe just a scenario where it's impossible for things not to happen. And people need to remember that. Well, they're having a go at Aberdeen and they're having a go at Celtic right now in the media, and they're fucking destroying them, ripping them a fucking new arse. Let's just remember that when this happens at Ibrox 2 months from now, well, the same cunts in the media begin Sevco the same sort of fucking abuse. So we'll see how it plays out anyway. I mean, I'm upset. Obviously, the game's Wednesday against St Mirren, and the game obviously weekend against Aberdeen aren't going to be going ahead, because obviously we want to get a bit of football going, But yeah, anyway, that's it for now. That's all I've really got to say in the matter. I'll get this posted up tonight on the channel on there on YouTube. So yeah, this was, if I'm wrong, maybe 37, maybe 38, but I'll put it in the description anyway. So yeah, hail, and stay safe. Hail.